Okay, the checkered flag has flown and the race is over, and we're now about to rant a little bit about it. This is the Cool Down Lap. My name is RB Turner, and here with me is my co-host. Say your name, Colby.
I'm Colby.
He is Colby Peterson, and here with us is the race winner from last night's AMP Cup Series. Yeah, AMP Cup Series from whatever track that was in Brazil.
Autódromo José Carlos Pace.
Yeah.
English translation.
This is Aaron Ryan. What is going on? The second time you've got to do an interview with us.
First repeat podcast. First one.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Setting records everywhere, Mr. Ryan.
That's right.
I lucked my way into that one, but I'll gladly take it.
Yes, you did. This was not one. This was one that was, we kind of figured you'd probably win, but it was not given to you. Explain that to us.
I mean, I know that I'm among like the top few guys, and for the road courses, I mean, my record on road courses in this league is pretty good. It's like 5 for 8 or something like that. Watching, when we put up practice lobbies and seeing some of Steven's lap times, I could do the kind of lap times he was doing, even on full out pushing. So I just tried to stay clean. It's a really technical track, and I finished the race with no incidents. I didn't go off track once. Just tried to stay as clean as I could, not mess up. Because one lockup is like 4 or 5 seconds lost. You do that 4 times throughout the race, you lost 20 seconds on the car ahead of you. So I just try to stay smooth, and I lucked my way into it with Steven, I guess because he could go that fast, which I don't blame him, pushing a little too hard and getting too many incidents at the end of the race. But man, I'll take it when I can get it. That's not the first time I've won a road race by something happening to someone that I had nothing to do with, and I just coast my way to the finish. That happened at Chicago last time. Yeah, I'll take it any way I can get it.
That's about how you took it. I was explaining to Colby. It was like, so he hasn't had a chance to see the race yet. So he was just like, so let me guess, green flag fell, Aaron drove away, and no, that is not what happened.
The entire first stage, Zook was just, I don't know, maybe it took me a while to get into a rhythm, but dude, he was, to be PG, he was like up my butt all 15 laps. He was giving me bumps, and I'm sitting there like, I know I'm trying to go faster. Like, I swear, he was really fast, and it's hard to go fast when you're just starting to get comfortable and you're not following someone. It's a lot easier to go fast following someone. When Steven jumped the stage and I was following him, my pace increased like a lot by probably a second or a second and a half a lap every lap. And that kind of helped me with Zook. We got more spread. And once Steven got so far in the distance, I couldn't see him anymore. My pace decreased because I didn't have that reference to follow. But yeah, no, that was definitely not the case. No matter what the stats tell you, that was not the case. Steven was like cheating fast. Like, it was insane.
Yeah, he was.
It was insane watching him. Like, I'm sitting there driving, and we're going through the first sector where, you go through that downhill, then you have a straightaway, and you have a left-hander. And it's kind of, wide left, wide right. And I remember just seeing him just flying around, full track limits the whole way around, using all of the track. And I was just like, yeah, I got no shot. There's no way I'm not catching him. I'm going to spin out if I try.
What is, I don't know if enigma is the right word, but like, what is it about these racetracks that are traditionally not for stock cars at all whatsoever, right? What is it about these tracks that, and you said it took you a minute to feel comfortable, but naturally, I'm sure you ran a test on this before you decided if we were going to run it or not, obviously. What is it about you that gets you comfortable racing cars on these tracks that, for all intents and purposes, stock cars don't really belong there, but somehow you figure out how to not only make them belong there, but make it fast? How does that work in your ticker?
Well, no, I mean, it pretty heavily depends on whatever setup you're using. I mean, for how heavy our cars are, the biggest thing is like trying to find ways to manage the tire temps where you don't have to constantly be engaged with it. And especially this track was a lot of hard, Monza was a lot of high speed turns where you're more or less building tire temperature based on speed. This one, we were building tire temperature a lot just on a lot of low speed lefts, rights, where you're hard on the brake down into first, having to gun it back to the next one, immediately back on the brake. It's a lot of that, a lot of making sure that, reference points are clear. Mm-hmm. For brake markers, whether it's a sign, an actual, 300, 400, 500 meter, or in our case, like 600 meter signs, depending on how fast we're going. It's a whole lot of that, making sure that we have clear. And whenever we do pick these odd tracks, like we try to make the setup to where you can really be hard on the brakes. you're going to be able to control your temperatures a little bit, and it's not going to spin out if you floor it in first. I mean, but it comes to me getting into a rhythm. It's being able to hit my markers without looking at them is the big thing. And no matter how much I practice, it's just me getting into a race, the first few laps of a road race. Same thing with Monza last year. You guys remember Steven was up my butt for like the first 10, 15 laps until he had an unlucky mistake. But yeah, it's just trying to get into a rhythm without having to stare at my markers. Because if I'm really racing Steven or Zook or one of these guys that are really, really fast at the road courses, I can't be staring at my brake markers. Like I need to just be able to be confident going into a turn.
The visual markers are cool, but once you get, it seems to me like watching these races, because usually I watch the rest of the race from pit road when we do these goofy tracks. It seems to me that it literally, and I mean, everybody practices, right? Like I practiced Monza a ton last season before we ran it. But it does seem to be that way where it's like you get your visual markers down, but then you get a muscle memory of where that is. So you don't have to see the marker. You just have a feel for where that marker is. And it drives me absolutely fucking nuts, but you're really good at it. So good job.
Well, one thing that's weird, thank you. One thing that's weird for that with me is like I know like once you do so many laps at a place, you'll learn like what your RPMs sound like going into a turn. And once you hear a certain pitch, like muscle memory, like without even you realizing you're doing it, you know that you're going to need to slow down. And that's where it comes to for me it comes to trying to be as smooth as possible, because you mess up one turn, that's no longer a reference for the next four, but you're off sequence kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was really proud of AMP the way everybody did in this race. I thought this track was a lot harder than Monza. I thought it was a lot more technical, and they did way better here than we did in Monza. Monza, watching the broadcast, it was like, God, man, that was rough out there. A lot of people making mistakes. I only saw like maybe 3 or 4 total, and most of the time it was just low speed spins, like half spins, and people locking it up. I mean, that was about it. Aside from RB's shining moment.
We'll get to that in a minute. I know Colby's gonna want to see this.
Don't you worry. I'm going to watch it. I just
I'm gonna show it in like a couple of minutes.
Oh, perfect.
But I just had one quick question. How do you for tracks that you've never been to, like how do you, like if you've never been to Brazil, I'm gonna call it, and you show up, how do you prepare for those places? Because obviously, for anybody who wants to join AMP, we do not use the driving line. If you show up with no practice at all, then
it's gonna be a rough day.
You're gonna have a hard time. So how do you prepare for tracks going into them?
I mean, kind of a little bit what I did this morning. We were starting to build the Road America set up this morning. I just kind of start guessing braking zones.
Just guess.
I literally just guess. And if I lock it up, I'm like, all right, well, got to back that one up, and we'll go back and we'll restart. But normally on my out lap, I'll just kind of like slowly roll around a little bit, like not at full speed, but more than pace speed, and just kind of get the vibe of, well, that's a harsher turn than it looks like. And, I just kind of guess and just go one turn at a time. I mean, that's all I really can do. I don't even some people learn with the driving line and then they reference it later on. That works for some people. There's an argument both sides of whether or not it's good or not. In my opinion, learning with the driving line is going to make you slow. It's going to chain you down, because you're always going to think of that. It's like, well, that's where it told me to brake, so that must be right. It's like, well, that's where it's telling you to brake on if the AI was on medium. You know what I mean? Right. Like if the AI is on hard, it's going to tell you to brake 100 meters past that.
Well, I know I learn with the driving line. What I usually do is I'll go out and I'll run 10 laps or so with the driving line on, and then I'll turn the driving line off. And typically by lap 5 or 6, I'm going faster than I was with the driving line. Right. Mm-hmm. So I totally agree that the driving line makes you slow.
And it's the driving line is meant to be a safe barrier. If you're braking at where the driving lines tell you to brake, if you locked it up, you really did something wrong. It's telling you to brake way sooner than you should. And that is, if you're not a big road course guy, that can be extremely helpful. Andrew Davis does that. He practices a few laps with the driving line, and then he turns it off, and he tries to get a feel of, he looks for, visual brake markers just to get an idea, so that he's not, spending 15 minutes taking it like I do, turn by turn.
But I like doing that kind of guy.
It's just fun, man. Yesterday, I got bored, and I was like, I wonder what the Cup car feels like on this track. We went to Miami. I was like, this was horrible. I'm not doing that. That sucked.
Oh, that makes my heart so happy to hear you say that.
I did a few laps. I thought this dude, some of the turns, the brake markers are at 150, and I can't even see the brake markers before we need to brake. It's like I can't, like, not even in the distance, I can't see them. And I was like, well, this sucks. I'm not driving this around this track. This is going to be horrible. But I do that a lot, just like picking random tracks. If you're a road course guy, you kind of get into a groove of learning what the car can handle and what it can't.
This one did
Absolutely.
seem quite a bit more technical than, because like last year we did Monza and Canada, or last season, sorry. But this one, I ran a couple of test laps, and then naturally, when you make a plan, it's bound to change. So that's what happened to me. I ran a couple of practice laps, and I mean, I'm not a road course guy. I'm not an oval guy either. I just run in the back and say hi to y'all when y'all pass me. But
that's not true. I've raced with you in the front before.
You've led laps.
I've raced with you in the front before.
I've
and then I remember talking to you after the race. You got scared, and I was like, Colby, we were up there battling. What are you doing? Fight me.
Yeah. Well, see, the difference for me is like there's times when I feel confident. Like I remember leading a couple laps at Kentucky last season. It's the first laps I've led an amp by virtue. I mean, and sure, like, I took tires, I stayed out at the end of the stage, and I just assumed the lead, right? So I wouldn't necessarily call it that I got there on virtue of my ability, but it was a strategy play, and it worked for 10 laps before it didn't, right? And it's a lot of fun to be up there. And this is just me being honest. This isn't like me trying to be a bitch. Like me being honest, like I'll get up there and it's fun to mix it up with y'all. And the more that we've done like the little side series, like the little Thursday deal that we did for a while, or the Sunday fun day when everybody shows up, those types of things really make me more comfortable when I am mixing it up with y'all on our Sunday races, because, or like in our league, because obviously, like, I've learned more being around y'all, and y'all have learned a little bit more about me being around when we do those little fun races, right? When we're not being complete jackoffs, which happens occasionally. But I am still in a mode where, like, I get nervous racing up front because I don't want to be the guy that ruins 3 people's races because I'm up front and then make a mistake and I take out, like, I remember, what was it, Milwaukee Mile. I ended up getting cycled to the back, and then here comes Steven. I wrecked Steven and Aaron out of first place in the same race at Milwaukee Mile.
Really?
As I was getting lapped.
Must have not been that bad, because I got back up there. It must have not been. I don't remember that at all. I remember Davis beat me at the end of the race, which was upsetting. But I don't remember that at all. So it must have not been that bad. I mean, that's something that just, dude, it happens at the front. I've made mistakes and wrecked people. Steven's made mistakes and wrecked people. Duke, Barr's made mistakes and wrecked. Like, if you're getting to the front, it's like another level of aggressiveness where it's like you all race each other clean, but you all know at some point every single one of us will move the other person out of the way and not feel bad about it. Like, it's just inherently racing up front. What you don't want is early on in the race mistakes. Like some guys, when they get up front, they're throwing blocks, and I'm like, dude, we're on lap 4. I'm not going to win the race. Like, relax. It's way early on to be throwing blocks. I'd maybe just don't want to hit you going into the turn because I had a heck of a run,
Yeah.
Gosh,
well, speaking of taking people out, luckily it didn't happen, but this is a little fun moment for, I'm sure Aaron enjoyed a whole bunch.
I could say that.
I'm basically, let me give a little backstory. I'm just going to let him go by, and then I'm going to forget where I'm supposed to break at. So here we go. Maybe. There we go.
It's like you watched me pass you, and then
That's
you're
exactly
like,
what happened.
we're at the turn. Shit. Like, go back to the previous turn there and go back up a little bit, because I still didn't even, people were so all over the place on this front stretch. I didn't know where you were going to go, like coming off this turn, because this right here, this is a high speed left-hander, right?
Yeah.
And like
I went off track a little bit.
I had passed people on both the right and the left side, lapping people. So I had no idea where you're going to go. So like, I'm coming up to you fast. I think you're going to say to the right. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, he wants to go to the left. So then I go to the right. I wish it showed my rear view mirror, because you got real big in my rear view mirror real quick. Like, you can even see, if you look at the orange lines on my steering wheel, you can probably even see a little twitch of like, oh, crap.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There you go. Yeah. That right as I'm going in the turn, I'm about to turn left. I'm like, oh, okay, now we're good. I was pushing pretty hard too to try to catch Steven. Like Davis was encouraging me, but I couldn't do it. And
You need to clip that RB and put the Tokyo Drift theme song over that.
What's
I
happening?
mean, you still ended up facing the right way. Like I'll give you that.
I couldn't believe that. No,
As far as
here's the good part. Listen to this. If you can hear it,
I can't.
did it not play?
I can't hear
I
it.
can't hear anything now.
Oh, you can't hear it.
No.
Well, anyway, that's about the time I spoke up and I said, "Did you like that, Aaron?" He didn't respond.
I didn't say anything because I didn't want to come across as a jerk, because I just know once I'm in the zone, my voice can sound like that, even though I don't mean it like that. But when you said that, I was like, I mean, Colby, you've already cursed, so I'm just going to say it. When you said that, I was like, no, I fucking did not, RB. I did not like that at all.
That's the exact thing that I was expecting. I was like, that probably pissed him off just a little bit. But
No, it did piss me off. It was just more or less like freak gave me a heart attack for a moment.
Please don't do that again.
No, well, I mean, it's like that coming up to any lapped car, right? Like anybody, like even coming up to Davis. There was one point where Davis is like, I'm running good laps. I'm following him, coming up to lap him, and he's like, I'm putting good lap times, and I was like, you are. And then we go into a turn, he's sideways, and I was like, do not spin out in front of me. If you're good, he's like, I'm not, and I was like, you were just sideways. If you're gonna do it, let me by, please.
It is incredibly difficult to be the slower guy, just because you don't want to make a mistake and mess up that guy behind you who's so much faster.
It's difficult when you have a large field, because generally when you're doing like our endurance races, like 24 hours or something, Daytona, the GT3s know to be predictable, but the whole field is kind of doing that. Right. And that's not very common in these races, like most of the time if we're on an oval, you can kind of just run your own line because their cars coming behind you are going to be fast enough to pass. But on tracks like this, the non-racing line doesn't have any grip, and you don't want to mess up your race. The lead guy doesn't want to mess up his race, so you're kind of playing cat and mouse on, is he going to let me by? Is he not? That happened with Jordan Metal at one point. It happened with me and Brad, where it's like I was saying, coming up to that line, I thought you were going to take the outside, and then you kind of came back across, and Brad did that like right in front of me, and I slammed into the back of him on the front straightaway. I was amazed it didn't give me an incident, or I didn't have any front end damage. Like, I hit him. But yeah, it's hard for especially these cars too. Like, you can't easily get out of the way. It's not a sports car.
No.
Right.
Well, when you do get offline, and for the people that don't do sim racing, they don't understand that like the tire model is the way that this works is if you get offline, the tires theoretically are picking up the marbles and the dust and the stuff that is offline, right? So even if you do just pull out a line and then fall back into line, which could have been a situation for RB other than completely missing his brake point, right? But like, I know it's happened to me before. Like, I'll get offline to let whoever by, I'll fall back in, and then you go into that next braking zone planning on hitting your same mark, and your tires are filthy, so you hit it and you're not slowing down, so then you put more brake pressure into it, then you lock up, and then you go speeding behind the person that just passed you, and you're just praying, you're turning the wheel every way you can, trying not to completely clobber this person. And it's hard to be the lead guy, not that I would know, but I would assume, but it's not easy being that guy that's like, okay, I'm trying to race respectful, because like I still want to jump into Discord later and just cut it up and talk with these guys, but if I get offline, there's still a chance I'm going to fuck your day up, and I don't want to do that. Right? Like, no, like, and I think even some of the people that we race with that are generally more risky, and I don't want to use the word ignorant because that's not the right word, but generally a little more scary to be around. Even those people, I don't think anybody on any given Sunday wants to ruin somebody's race, especially in a situation like being a lap down or getting lapped to go a lap down. Like, don't get it wrong. There's times on ovals where it's like, you should be running better, but now you're getting lapped because you got into this situation or what have you, and yeah, you don't want to let the lead car by. You don't want to go a lap down because it's your own race that you're racing too. But I think the flip side of that for a lot of us is like, I'll let you by, but you're going to have to get by on your own because I can't come off of my line either.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's completely understandable, especially in these cars specifically. Like,
right.
Like you said, like the tire model it's pretty accurate. Like, at the beginning of the race, first few laps of the race, there's not really grip anywhere, right? But once you get into the point where you start to lap people, the racing line has developed.
It's very established.
And the only time where it's not established is either like big risk corners where a lot of people are locking it up going into it and running wide, which this means there's more debris on the track anyways. And it's hard to go off the racing line. The only way you kind of learn about, like, it's hard because it's different every single race.
Mhm.
It's like, if I'm in the front and I accidentally send it a little too deep and I still had grip on the outside somehow, like example Monza, there's a lot of high-speed right-handers, right?
Mhm.
If I sent it a little too deep and I go wide and I'm not right on the curb and it sticks out there, in my mind I'm thinking, okay, well then that's a realistic location that I could actually pass someone.
Right.
Like it's different every race, and especially this track, I think it was really, you got to stay on the racing line. There are a few passing zones, most of them are braking passing zones, but on that intersection where it's all low speed turns, you don't want to get off the racing line, which is
And
yeah.
This Brazil track didn't seem very wide, but like the actual asphalt surface is not that wide, right? So even if you do go into a braking zone to make a pass, even still, if you do get under a guy and you make him go the long way around, there's realistically an 80% chance he's going off track on the other side in order to keep momentum up. And, then you probably end up in a situation like Steven. I mean, sure, he was just probably lapping fast enough that he was using the runoff and the runoff, unfortunately, on most of these tracks, whether you set it up as a stock carb discipline or not, is still going to give you an off track because that's what the track says, right? It's not like Watkins Glen where you can run 19 feet off of turn 1, clear off into that runoff going up the S's, and it doesn't give you an off track. So, I don't know. It looked like, from what I've gathered anyway, it looked like a lot of fun to run if you are a groove-oriented driver.
If you can't get into a rhythm, it's not going to be any fun. Yeah. No matter what speed you're going, as long as you can stay in a rhythm, I thought it was enjoyable. Because you kind of, once you're in a rhythm, that's when you start learning. That's when you're like, okay, my tires are wearing, but for whatever reason, in the high speed turns, I'm getting faster. But in all the low speeds, it's killing me. Okay, why is my braking here? Why can I brake later going into turn 1? But on that like low speed, short little U-turn where you're not even hitting 80, it's like, why can I not brake there anymore? Once you get into a groove is where you really start learning the limits of your car. And that just takes a lot of time. Like I logged, I don't know how much the average person logged, but for anyone watching this, like the guys that are racing up front, Steven, Suk, myself, Bar, Metal's real fast here. Metal's fast at road courses. Like we log a lot of laps. Like we're practicing. And I know not everyone has the availability to do it, but that's just kind of, if I'm practicing Road America. We're building the setup, but, I'll be practicing the Glen at least 6 weeks prior to us racing it. Because it's going to take me a lot longer to practice that than it is going to be, for example, like Nashville. Like I haven't done any practice in Nashville. I'll probably do practice the morning of, because it's an oval. We're all oval racers. Like we have a general idea of what is needed there. But for anyone's watching, it's like you got to practice, and if you need help, ask someone to come in there with you, see what they're doing, see what their brake markers are. How are their tire temps after 10 laps versus yours? If you were faster, but your tire temps are 250, that speed's going to disappear after a few laps. Don't be afraid to ask for help and log as many laps as you can. That's why all of us are up front.
Definitely. That's something I preach all the time. The guys that run up top, those are the guys that put it in the laps. So you can't convince me that, they're just showing up and being fast. There's no way.
I almost didn't make the race yesterday.
Really?
Which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I flew in from San Diego yesterday morning, and we landed at 5:30, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna be able to get home, like relax, get something to eat, getting some practice, be there for the full practice, and then we sat on the tarmac for like an hour and a half, because the Orlando airport was having issues. Then I was like writing up a list in my notes to have Nicole register for me. Probably not qualify, walk in, sit down, like literally just walk in, throw the bag on the ground, sit down and race. And I got here, I think, with like 15 minutes left of practice. So I was actually able to get like 2 or 3 laps, and then we just sent it into qualifying.
Oh my God.
I almost didn't make it. I was
How
tired.
bad would
after
that
that
have
race.
been?
Starting from the back and qualifying.
Well, either way, even starting from the back, you probably still would have got up there. But, just not making it, that's like...
I would have been upset.
That's a lot of practice just to not be able to make it.
Because just for the team standings, and for me, last race having the internet issues, team standings, that was the first race all 4 of us have been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Davis was able to make
it.
it.
And Bar's strong at road courses. I'm strong at road courses. There was a lot of people that took provisionals, which means there was a lot of points on the table. I convinced Jordan, I was like, because he was thinking about not doing it for his knee, and I was like, just get in there and just log laps, just cruise, stay out of the way. I was like, you'll get way more points than you'll think. There's so many people not there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have sucked.
I did not want to use my provisional for this race because I knew that so many people were going to.
A lot of people
And
do it.
that's the bummer. I mean, we all understand what jobs are, right? Like, unfortunately, my plans changed, and I had to get in a car and drive from Emporia to Columbia, Mississippi. It's not a good time, Like, don't get me wrong. It was actually really nice to get out on the road and just do the drive. But provisionals are hard to dictate, right? Because what is it? It's 10 points. We get 2 or 3 for the regular season.
And 10 points, you get 3 for the regular season and 1 for the playoffs. And they're basically useless. 10 points is nothing. It's essentially just hey, I'd like something, but provisional's not going to save you.
I think somebody literally ran 2 laps and parked, if I was looking at the points correctly.
Yeah, Michael.
I think he got 25 more points than I did.
I think yeah. I mean, I think he was around 20, but that's more than
10 points. You have to finish 27th or worse. So if there's only I don't even know how many we had, 15 or something.
Yeah, he got 20 points, which, I mean, we didn't, starting next season, that won't be a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But it's kind of made me sad seeing how many people took provisionals, because I get it. It's early on in the season, but it's Road America's in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just skipping this road course
You think this is going to save you?
Road America's thinner than Brazil is, man, and that's high speed. Putting some practice laps there, that is not an easy track for these cars. That's a lot of uphill, downhill. Same thing as this one, just this one's in the USA. It's just as difficult of a track, and this one's in the playoffs. And we got 2 road courses, this and the Glen. Which I know people, I'm NASCAR fan. I know. Well, that's the default. It's I'm a NASCAR fan. We all know how to race the Glen, and then it's you go in there and it's still the same 3-4 guys. It's you gotta practice. You gotta figure this out if you want to advance, because there are 2 road courses in the playoffs, and we always put something challenging. Last year was Rockingham. A lot of people had an issue with that. That was a bumpy track.
I enjoyed it myself.
Rockingham's right up your alley, RB.
Well, I think I finished 3rd, maybe 2nd or 3rd. I was up there, but I put in laps too, though, so I practiced.
Right.
That track.
When y'all made the schedule for season 3, I think Rockingham had just come out on iRacing not too long before that.
We did a few laps, and we're oh, this will be fun and challenging. It's brand new. No one's done it. At least we haven't done it before. And people who didn't practice, it was very obvious in that race. Because that track is way more challenging than it looks like. That is super bumpy. Turn 1 is misleading. You'll go drive straight up to the wall, and then the bumps on 3 and 4.
Now it's different. Now it's got to repave, but it's still kind of bumpy and still a little slick. So don't just go into it blind.
But yeah, it's just more or less. It's I know we have the provisionals there for people that but I would hope that even if you're not used to the track, just show up and try your best, because you're going to get more points. Even if you log
and you're going to get bonus points for the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
we decided on that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that's a rule now. Oh well, I guess most of those people won't be getting it.
They won't be getting those bonus points.
Those bonus points are gone. Perfect attendance. I hope everybody here read the rules. I had to be reminded, but yeah, perfect attendance, and you get 5 playoff points. So that's 10 people that will not be getting that. I'd be amazed. I'd be amazed if anybody gets it. Only 2 people got it would have gotten it last season, which was Pop and Bar. You were perfect attendance last season?
I was every race.
I think
you can count on me to be there. The only race I've missed was in season 2, and I was in the hospital. That's why I wasn't there.
That would be why you're 1 race short of Bar and Pop.
Yeah.
They've both attended every race. You and Zook have missed 1.
Yeah.
Which I think
also it didn't count. It didn't count the All-Star race last season because I didn't make it.
Oh, yeah,
So that's probably why when you were looking at it, it showed that I wasn't there every week.
Okay, but I mean that don't count. That's fun. Winner take all, 14 points. Everyone else can.
Hey,
Everyone else tried.
everyone else tried.
Thanks for showing up. Here's nothing.
Now go sit on your couch and watch those of us that are good enough to get into this race figure it out.
Hey.
No, but I want to give a lot of credit to Steven because my God, he was fast, and I give him a lot of respect for owning up to the incident because we try and review as much as possible, but it was towards the end of the lap, and it's very easy and very tempting, just to be like, oh well, I got it on the final lap, I can't serve it, but he owned up to that immediately. And that shows kind of what kind of a guy he is, what kind of a racer he is. He races hard, but he races honest.
I can't swear that I wouldn't have done that.
It's tempting, and that's why I gave him a lot of respect in the interview because I was like, he races hard, he races honest. He may not have the most road course wins, but my God, he's the fastest dude out there.
He is fast. He was putting down like 1:35.
His fastest lap was a second and a half faster than the field.
Yeah, my fastest lap personally that I've ran is 1:39, and that was in a practice. I think in the race I ran like 1:41. So he's like 6 seconds faster than me. Granted, I'm not very fast, but
it is like video game watching him drive away. Like I want to give him as much credit. I know he was pretty upset, which understandably it's a little devastating. But he has a championship. He'll get over it.
Yeah, he's got a nice little plaque with his name on it and everything. He's all right.
We were joking around, and I was like, "Yeah, he gave me that win, so I don't remember what happened at Nashville last year."
Yeah, going into Nashville, I remember what happened in Nashville.
I also remember.
No, man. And thank you for giving us your time again. I think the one thing when you're in a car for as long as I've been, you get thinking about all kinds of stuff that's got nothing to do with operating machinery on a public highway. It's really cool the type of support we're getting doing this from the league. And without you guys being willing to jump in, at 11 o'clock on a Monday night, we can't really do this. And so it's a lot of fun to get to visit with people. I mean, and like the three of us specifically have spent hours in Discord on a Friday night doing absolutely nothing but talking shit and playing with cars and whatever else. But to be willing to donate your time to something that we're trying to do, I think I've missed the boat on telling people how much we appreciate their time. So I want to make sure that that's said, that we appreciate you jumping on here with us. And I think when we interviewed you last time, I said we'll talk to you 4 or 5 more times this year at minimum. And here we are already on the second one. So, congratulations on that. And make sure you tell Nicole we appreciate your time as well.
I thank you guys for doing this. I think this is just absolutely awesome. I've watched everyone so far. We need to get you guys some sponsors. I think it's super cool that you guys are doing this. I think it adds another level to AMP. And talking about the guys in this league, and interviewing the winners like Ethan Thompson. First time was race 2?
Yeah.
Second race in the league at a technical track like North Wilkesboro.
North Wilkesboro.
With that was a big field too. That was like 26, 27 cars. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of people, man.
And then you find out how he drives his cars, and you're like, oh, copy.
I just reached out to him today so we can get him his magnet because I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, anyone who's curious, first-time winners in AMP get a magnet. It's nothing crazy, but it's a magnet. I don't know. Do what you will with it. That's on my fridge.
Mine's on my fridge.
As where magnets normally go.
I think it's cool that the league does that too.
Yeah, and I mean, once they run out, we'll do something else. We haven't run out of the magnets yet.
So speak on that a little bit, Aaron, if you will. There's a lot of leagues out there where it's like, hey, you pay $10 or 15 or 20 or whatever it might be. You race a 25, 26 race season, and then the season ends, and they're like, all right, we'll start signups again in a couple of weeks. Thanks for coming. Y'all have, I feel like, done a really good job with the, I don't know if you would just call it merchandising or, the awards and the different stuff y'all do for the drivers and the sponsors, and you keep it interesting. We talked last time you were on about like the best of the rest challenge during the playoffs to get guys to continue to show up, because there's a lot of those leagues that we've raced in, right, where, once that 16 people or whatever it may be is determined, that's about all you get every week is 16 people. And so speak on that a little bit, and maybe some like the reasoning behind it, because it would be really easy for y'all to run a league and just be like, show up, drive, go home, bye, but y'all do put in a ton of effort afterward and during to make sure that people continue to show up and enjoy what we're doing and make it about something a little bit more than just a, for all intents and purposes, a video game that we play online.
Most of the reasoning comes behind it just because we all love this so much. It's like, this is my primary hobby. It's like, I have other leagues, I race in other leagues, but this is the league this is the only one I care about. And I know a lot of guys, a lot of the admins, everybody races in other leagues, but I mean, obviously Davis is the owner of this league and he races in other ones. This is the one that we care about. This is the one that Zoo cares about the most. This is, Stevens said it, this is the one he has the most fun doing. And I think it just comes from that. Just we love doing this, and it makes us sad to see people not show up. It's like we put a lot of effort into trying to make the rules as fair as possible, and we're constantly learning. Like, we mess up just like everybody else. We're constantly learning, and we put a lot of effort trying to make it as fun as possible so people stay and people show up for every race. Or even if you're racing in the back, you've got something to race for. It is interesting that you mentioned that, where like leagues, they'll do the fee and then, all right, sign up for next season. It's like, where's all the money going? The lobbies don't cost that much money. It's like we don't pocket anything. If anything, this league has financially negatively affected all the admins. Like, I've not received any money, and I know all the admins have put a lot of money into all this, and there is no return. The only return is having full races, having a lot of fun with people, and being able to be competitive. Like, we treat this like we're pros. We're not. But like this, I get just excited for this as I do get watching the NASCAR race on Sunday or watching the Formula One race at 1:00 in the morning.
Well, I mean, how many of us like stand up and walk away from the NASCAR race on TV to come and do our own race?
Oh, yeah. I had to do that last night.
It's all the time.
Right? I had to find out the tough way who won the race. I was so sad.
I don't even want to talk about that. But
we're 2 bad decisions away from Chase Elliott having 2 wins already.
I'm slowly starting to hate him.
Really?
Tyler Reddick. Dude, I've been going to races since I was 8 years old, man. I've never seen my driver win. That was the closest I've ever been to seeing my driver win, and it was about 100 feet from the checkered flag at the Daytona 500. Like, I just like stood there in silence for like 10 minutes, and even Nicole was like, later on, she's like, yeah, I thought it was best not to like hug you or put my hand on you. I was like, yeah, I probably would have just told you, just leave me alone for a second. Just let me just deal with this. Like, this is like the most devastating thing that's ever happened in my NASCAR life. Just let me take it in for a second.
You've never seen your driver win. You were about to see your favorite driver win the biggest race of the year.
Gone just like that. Even last night when I walked in the door and I've got the race on my phone, like running from the Uber, and I was like, babe, want to see the last lap of the race? And I go over and show it to her, and she wins, and she's like, nobody cares about Tyler Reddick. Why? It's like no one was excited that he won. But yeah, going back into the awards, like it's just because we care about this so much. Like right there, we just got randomly talking about NASCAR. Like we all care about this a lot, and we want other people to care about it, even if they're racing in the back. And that's why we do it all. I've got 3 things on the wall, four things on the wall, one of them being like a sponsorship plaque, regular season champion, 2 team champions, but we ship out the magnets for first time winners. Like if you sponsor a certain amount, you get awards. Like we want to show our appreciation. Absolutely nothing is pocketed. I want to make that clear. $0 is pocketed from AMP. Absolutely nothing. And if we do have more money than we need, it either goes into next season or we start planning more things. Like we were trying to get a little store set up, which is kind of still in the works, but to get AMP merch, and it's a lot more complicated than we thought it was. I want to emphasize $0 is pocketed. All of it goes towards the league.
And I think that investment's cool. And it's not just the investment in the league itself that y'all do. It's the investment in the other drivers. Because I mean, sure, maybe another league does invest in the league. And, at the end of the day, the thing that I think I enjoy most is that y'all give us, I don't want to call it a platform, but it really is that. With the relationship that we've created with Signature and the relationship that we've created with each other, we put a product out there that I think is every bit as exciting as a NASCAR race. And we've talked to all of our people that we've interviewed about that, the level of competitiveness in our league, especially this season. And we talked to you last time about how it's competitive from front to back. There's something to look at. There's always, a storyline. Jason talked last week about if he was just calling a race and people going in circles, there's Aaron, he's in first. Steven passed him, now he's in first. Aaron passed him back, now he's in first. He doesn't do that, right? He goes through the field, he talks about everybody, he makes sure everybody gets some camera time, and he doesn't just talk about us like we are the the graphic inside of the car that he can put his little camera thing on. He talks about us like I'm Colby and you're Aaron and you're RB. Like that's I think the cool part about the broadcasting element of it. And again, like we talked to Jason last week, broadcasting ain't free, and somebody's got to pay for that.
It's like $1,000 a season or something.
Yep,
not cheap.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take with he does a discount if you pay it all up front. And he's he should be paid more, and I want to thank him for sticking on with us, especially with everything going on.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone would have blamed him if he would have actually stepped away. But he put it on his Twitch and he kind of left it up to people, and we showed as much support as we possibly could to get him to stay. And based off of his timer, that's a long ways
That's
away.
a long time.
It's a long time
It's at least
away.
a year from today.
We're not even close, and it's like, all right, we locked you down. You're staying with us for a little bit. Like you ain't going nowhere.
I remember when he came into Discord and said he was thinking about like the retiring thing, and he's like, as soon as this ticker runs out, it's done. We're done. And then I logged on to a race he was calling for another league the next night, and the ticker, when I looked at it after the race, after he had come into Discord and told us that, and the ticker the next day had literally doubled in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while, but the last I've seen it, it was at least a year from that moment before he could, if he streams 24/7, he's looking at least 365 days.
Yeah, he got shown his support pretty intensely, very quickly.
I am proud that AMP is a big part of that.
I'm pretty proud of that as well. And I mean, even with everything going on, he's still working on new stuff. Like he sent me a song recently. He sent me a clip that with changes, and you saw it in this week's broadcast. If you noticed the beginning of the race and some of his wipes with different camera angles and the scrolling at the bottom as well. For the white for the stage break, white for caution out. There was like fun facts at the bottom when you were prepping for the race. You kind of saw at the bottom. It was like there was one about Christopher Darling, like strong finishes early on, trying to turn it into a win. There was one for me. It was like early speed, trying to make another title push. Like it's fun facts at the bottom to give you a little more reference, and it's so awesome that he does that. It's even with everything going on, and it's like I can't explain how much we appreciate him. That is the most exciting thing about our league.
Speaking of fun facts, Colby, did you know I'm this week's fun fact? I am.
He is.
I'm slacking, guys. I dropped the ball a bunch this weekend.
RB Turner has the most closing lap passes in AMP Racing League at 113, 2 over second place, which is Bar.
Yes.
Let's do this math real quick. 100 over 66 races, 113. Oh, went the wrong way. That's 1.7 closing lap passes per race. So every race, you can guarantee you're going to gain a spot on the last lap.
That's what's up, man. I can't wait till I'm in second place on the last lap.
Go like, I won.
That's right.
Excited for the first time I become a fun fact for something, because it ain't gonna be good.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
We've got some fun stuff, and I can't do it until the race is over because that stat could change. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got them all ready to go. I think the funnest one so far was that I've posted was the slowest average qualifying speed ever. It was like 84 miles an hour.
I just think that it's so funny that here's the slowest by one of the fastest guys. That's so ironic.
Yeah.
He's got the slowest pole lap ever.
You're the slowest of the fast, or the fastest of the slow.
You're the slowest fast guy I know, Steven. Shout out, Steven. And you said it a little bit earlier. Like he owned up. He handled his situation the right way last night. The more time that I spend visiting with him, like I really do genuinely think he's that guy, right? I think he is just a stand-up individual. So, shout out Steven, because, he's helped me a ton. I don't think when we did the 24 hours of Daytona, like I probably don't do as well as I did with.
He's helped me too.
He's a really, really good guy to learn from. I mean, he's insanely fast. Up to this race, I think he'd had some pole streak going on or something.
Yeah, it was.
Sure. Maybe that was last season. He was at like 9 in a row or something crazy like that. Like he's a fast dude.
I can't remember what it was. It was like out of the last 10 races, he had like 8 or 9 poles, and then you kind of broke that streak.
Yeah, I think Clinkhart broke that. Pretty sure. If I'm saying that correctly, I hope I am. But yeah, he's an insanely good guy to learn from. He's really fast, and that's not the first situation either where it's really cost him. Like example, Monza, he was riding my butt, and I was probably too slow for him, and he locked it up going into a turn, and you can even see it in his driver cam. He turns away from me so that he doesn't hit me when he spins out, which he could have easily have just been like, oh, I locked it up, bumped me, I go flying. That momentum kills his speed, which keeps him on track. He could have easily have done that, but that's not the guy that he is. He will pass you, but he's going to do it the right way. Which I mean, if
It's
it was
not
last
if he
lap, he'll done.
passes.
If it was the last lap, he's gonna move you.
He's a
he
solid
he's
guy.
he's given me bumps on last laps before. He tried
Was
to
that
ship me.
Richmond?
Yeah, he tried to ship me in Richmond, but I sent it in there so deep that I prepared for it. Like I was gonna drift up the track. If he wouldn't have gone in to hit me, I think he might have passed me because I was so prepared for it. But like he's such a great guy to learn from, and it's a lot of respect towards him just
Yeah.
based off of how that race played out. And he was also the first person to officially now, since we have stage cautions at road courses, to flip the stage, and that worked out in his benefit heavily because he had clean air.
Yeah, but he's Steven. He's
He is.
fast. He's fast.
No,
But I
Aaron,
think
we really appreciate it, Aaron. Sorry, again, appreciate your time. Appreciate all you do for the league and the patience that you display taking care of the league. It'd be really easy for you to be done with a lot of people, and it goes back to I think, and I can make this assumption because I've been in that situation. But there's a lot of people in this league that you really probably didn't have to keep in the league, but whether it be a majority vote or whatever, you and a handful of the other admins, all the admins really, you care about the product, you care about the people, and you guys do a really good job at setting personal vendetta aside and running the league, without any kind of prejudice, and I think there's a lot of leagues out there that do not do that. I've heard it in other leagues where you wreck an admin and you get booted from the league before you've even finished the race. And it's something as silly as that.
accidents happen.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
no.
try our best. We're not perfect. Everything's a learning situation. I mean, from the first race to the most recent one, some of us are cooler heads than others. I'm normally the more aggressive person.
Yeah.
And that goes with everything in my life, not just AMP. It goes with work, personal stuff, But I don't know. We all try to help each other as much as possible. We try to make it fun for everybody. That's the biggest thing, is that we're having fun.
And
Even
it
though
fun.
if we just got dumped, it's like this is fun.
Go ahead and give your shout outs, brother.
I want to shout out. I don't have anybody other than y'all. Man, this is so cool what you guys are doing. I want to go get we got to get you guys a sponsor. I think this adds such another awesome dynamic to AMP Racing League. Like I think this is so awesome. And even with with Ethan, I learned a lot about him. Watching that one, I learned a lot about Signature that I've been talking to the guy for quite a while now, and I still learned a lot during that listening to that podcast. I think it's so cool. I was so happy when you guys announced it. I within 10 seconds made a page on the Discord because I was like, I don't want that to be washed out by a bunch of other BS self promotion that nobody cares about. Like they're gonna have their own tab. We're not washing it out with random shit. I don't care about any of that. This needs to be easy to find.
No, that was cool that you did that.
I didn't want to just spam it, so but that was
Right.
pretty
Well,
cool.
I don't want to have to scroll through a bunch of crap I don't care about to find your podcast. I'll be honest. We have the self promotion. People are free to use it. Doesn't mean I have to care about it. But I think it's so cool that you guys do this. So I don't have anybody other than y'all to shout out because I hope I'm here. I'm hoping I'm going to be here for more podcasts. At a certain point, I'm going to start running out of shit to talk about.
Really don't.
I do
trust
like
me.
hearing the sound of my own voice, so maybe not.
I'm
No,
sure if
every
nothing
race-
else, you could say whatever you said in the interview the night before, then you'll have this little 10-minute show.
Yeah, the interview is now a rehearsal for this.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't tell Signature that.
Signature. He didn't say that.
Yeah, he didn't say that.
No, it's actually been a lot of fun, and I think it honestly it's caught a little more traction with the guys in the league than I really thought it would, to be honest with you. Not that I thought that nobody would listen, but I don't know. I'll get random messages from some of the guys like, "Hey, really enjoyed the podcast this week. Good job." And I didn't really ever think of it adding another dynamic to AMP other than just giving the winner a little bit more of a victory lap, if you will, giving them a chance to talk some shit. run their mouth a little bit.
Winners in NASCAR have to do their media thing.
Yeah.
So
the
now this
media
is
tour.
part of it.
No. But no, I mean, and it's been a lot of fun. I didn't like when we had Ethan, I was like, I know this person 0%. I know his name. I pushed him at Daytona for a minute, and that's it. I didn't even know what car number he was, right? And then for him to come in and I mean, by the time we hung up that podcast, I was like, I could go to this guy's house and have a beer and hang out. He don't drink, but like, this is a type of person that we could meet up with, and he'd go to a race with us, and it'd be a good time, and he would participate, and he wouldn't be awkward and stand in the corner. Like, this was cool. And I think it's also more fun too, racing every Sunday when you have these kinds of a little bit more of an underlying relationship with us. I see you every Sunday for 2.5 hours, It's a lot more fun when you actually know the person operating that vehicle. So, and it creates problems too, just like anything, there's good with bad, bad with good, whatever. But it's been fun to get to know some guys a little bit better. And then when it comes to like talking with you, it's like the list of possibilities to visit with you about are endless. Like eventually you'll win your 12th race this year. And I swear to God, I think it happens.
It was difficult to get 10, my guy. I don't know. There's no way I'm getting 12. I lucked into like 4 of the 10.
Hey, when you win your
In
sixth,
all fairness, he lucked into the last one too.
Dude, it's just whiz what it is, man. I'm just there when people mess up.
My dad always told me it's better to be lucky than good. So
heck yeah, it is. I'm not that fast.
It's the old Kyle Busch somebody's got to finish third, and by golly, they wrecked, and now I won. Look at that, But and at the end of the day too, like I enjoy visiting with you enough that it's like by the 6th win, it'll be like, so what kind of music do you listen to, Aaron? And that's what we're here for. I mean, everybody knows that you win races, but they might not know that you actually know how to play the guitar hanging on your wall. Like that's the cool stuff about this for me. So, but I'll give my shout out to RB as well. This has been a ton of fun. I try to make sure I say this every week. RB does all of the hard things, and I just show up and talk. So I really appreciate the time that he puts into this, because if RB wasn't doing the hard part, like this wouldn't be what it is. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. So shout out RB on myself as well.
Well, yeah. I appreciate you being here, Aaron. Obviously, you did not have to do this, but you chose to, and we wouldn't have anything to talk about if you didn't show up. It would just be me and Colby in here. Well, this is what happened, and yeah, that's it. So it'd probably be about 5 minutes long, and nobody would care to watch it. So
I'd still watch it.
Well, but we appreciate it anyway, and that's the only shout out I have. I would thank you, Colby, for doing this with me, because you're a better talker than I am. That's why you're here.
A lot of trouble in my life too, but here we are.
It sure has, and maybe it'll get you in some more, but this time it'll be live for everybody to hear.
It's inevitable. I just have to wait until halfway through the season. Wink, wink.
That's right. All right, but yeah, that's about it. So unless anybody guys has anything to say, I'm gonna say. Also, I'm with Aaron. We would love to have a sponsor. I would be saying your name right now if you would sign on with us, just so you know.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Like, follow, subscribe. Don't forget what Jason looked like a couple weeks ago, or about a week ago.
Like, follow, subscribe, donate, share, post, all of it. Do it
Spam
all.
That shit.
Don't be a tool.
Don't be a tool. All right. Appreciate it, guys.